didn't see you there. My name is President Beorge. I'm the 43rd President of the United States. Yesterday I somehow managed to perform all the duties of the President in one day. And, take a look at that day, folks.
Mr. Josh! Mr. Josh! Got your briefcase.
Speaking on behalf of Congress, I would like to propose a bill to legalize recreational heroin in all 50 states.
No? That's a major health risk, and I'm gonna veto this bill.
Article 2 of the Constitution gives the President the power to veto bills passed in Congress.
However, I propose that we make medicinal heroin legal.
That sounds like a terrific plan.
While a president cannot write a law, he can propose a bill.
Hello?
Beorge, I must ask you, when it all finally crumbles to the ground, are you hoping your country becomes part of North Mexico or South Canada?
Listen up. I'm putting my foot down. We're declaring war on Russia. Hey, Vlad, you lose any more cosmonauts?
Listen, George, I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. I insulted you. Please, 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 please don't declare war on Russia. Please.
Well, I guess I'm a little prone to overreacting. You still on for next week's meeting? I take it back. We are not declaring war on Russia. Frankly, it's a little concerning that you guys let me declare war over an insult, but we're going to sign a treaty instead, and I'd like to formally apologize on behalf of the United States.
As the ambassador for Russia, I think that that is a good solution for the time being.
So more about myself. I was born June 9th, 1969, in Texas City, Texas. My father, Beorge H.W. Jush, was the president of this great country before I was. I'm over 35, a native-born citizen, and have lived here for over 14 years, so I can be president of this great country. Like other presidents before me, I'm a Christian, college-educated, and a lawyer. Elections every 4 years, so you can vote for me next time around as well. Thank you.
As Vice President Chick Daney, I don't have as much authority as George, but I do have authority in the Senate, and I can vote in case of a tie. If something were to happen to the President, though, we have a lineage that we can use to protect his important role. If the President dies, I, the Vice President, will become President. If the Vice President dies, the Speaker of the House will become President. If the Speaker of the House dies, the President pro tempore of the Senate will become President. If the President pro tempore of the Senate dies, the Secretary of State will become President. If the Secretary of State dies, other members of the Cabinet will become President. The 25th Amendment established this, and if Beorge were to become disabled or unable to do his job, I can remove him temporarily.
Good afternoon. I've gathered you here to reflect on the State of the Union. We are in total chaos. We will continue to lie to the public using the media to distract everyone from the fact that we have nothing under control.
One of the president's main jobs is to give speeches to Congress, the most popular being the State of the Union address.
Carry on. Oh boy, one of my judges has died. I guess I gotta appoint a new one now.
When one judge is no longer available to serve in court, the president is tasked with appointing new, fit judges to the open position. The president is also in charge of appointing executive agencies, ambassadors, and other top government officials.
Gee, Mr. President, thanks for appointing me as your new judge for all of eternity. Mr. President, this woman is on trial currently because she has performed terrorist actions, and although she pleaded innocent, she was proven guilty and has been sentenced to the death penalty, but I don't think that that's fair.
I understand that this woman has to be punished, but I do think that the death penalty is a little harsh. I'd like to reduce her time to a life sentence in prison.
As President of the United States, Beorge Jush has the power to pardon or reduce the penalties against people convicted of federal crimes, including terrorism.
Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We really shouldn't be rushing into conflicts like this, you know?
A safe environment is maintained for the president and other government officials by the protection of the Secret Service. The service is comprised of special agents, uniformed division officers, special officers, and administrative, professional, and technical staff. These members work together as a team both in public and private sectors in order to provide the best security in the land. The service consults with other protection agencies to stay updated on the most advanced security technologies. When the President travels, an advanced team of Secret Service agents works with the law enforcement of the area to provide the necessary security measures. The Secret Service also provides protection for former presidents and their spouses for life, unless they decline protection.
I know this may all look like fun and games, but I assure you, being president is no walk in the park.
We all know that you have a huge support staff, but would you be interested in explaining them from your perspective?
Sure. So everyone knows that I have a cabinet, and I view them as the leaders of the departments which I need the quickest response time for. Back in '02, I established the Department of Homeland Security, which brings the total number of cabinet seats up to 15. Now, I meet with my cabinet once a week, but former presidents have done it differently. It really depends on preference. Thank you. This is Margaret, my press secretary. She's a member of the executive office, one of the departments of the EOP. Now, I'm going to cover a lot here real quick, so hold on. I have quite the task force, but it's necessary. The executive office of the president is, well, it includes the executive office, which is roughly 500 employees who work directly with me on a variety of topics. There's management and budget section, which works out the national budget and manages spending, and the National Security Council. My VP, Chick Daney, works closely with them. In terms of my wife, the First Lady, she doesn't have a designated role in the government, but as I'm sure you've seen, she's a proponent of worldwide literacy and is making big strides there recently.
Interesting. So how much sway do you have in the appointment of all these individuals?
We can cover that in a moment, but I need to get out of this office. I missed my ranch, so I had the Secret Service move some of my livestock out here. Anyways, in regards to appointment, I can assign all the members of my cabinet, but before the 1880s we had a spoil system, which meant the president could appoint whoever he wanted whenever he wanted. Now we operate on a merit-based system, which restricts what positions and what individuals I can appoint when, and also things to do with other positions as well, but that's not really that important. Starting to see why I need so many secretaries? Anyways, now, there's another section of my branch. It's under my control, but I have less involvement in, and that's independent agencies. Executive agencies, which I have little more involvement with, are specialized sections of larger branches of the EOP, such as NASA. Government corporations, such as the National Postal Service, are corporations owned by the government, but they don't make a profit. And I think that about covers it. I have a meeting to jump to in a few minutes. Any last thoughts before we wrap up this session?
Just one. Where would you say you stand in this big net of employees?
You know, I'd say I'm sort of like a CEO. My job is to oversee everything and provide any final word on major decisions, and that's why I meet with my staff so often. I'm mainly here to make sure everything works the way it should, and that we are all, or we should all, be working as hard as possible to fulfill the promises we made to the electorate. That's it. Thank you.
Hey, Beorge, I tried to do what you asked me last week. I mean, I really did. I tried to sign out of the camp. They just said they're not going to let us ride horseback on the convoy.
Come on. Oh, excuse me. We have to attend a meeting for foreign policy. Our plans for dealing with other nations.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Mr. President.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. Let's discuss our plan. Should we declare war on Iraq or not?
Our primary goal is national security, promoting trade, and the spread of democracy. So we need to convince Congress to declare war. But you do have the ability to order the soldiers into power, President Gush. So if you put the soldiers into battle today, you have 48 hours to notify Congress. Then you have 60 days for Congress to approve, or we have to send the troops back home.
I also have the authority to control the troops.
But is declaring war on Iraq with the intent of spreading peace?
Well,
So should we convince them to declare war or develop a treaty with them?
Well, Congress could spend or withhold our defense budget, and they can also prohibit certain military actions.
Ah, true. Thankfully, Congress and I can both appoint ambassadors. So maybe we need more.
We both need to work on where to direct our foreign aid, work on international trade, and of course the military.
When's the NATO meeting, Beorge?
Ah, that's Mr. President to you. Later this week. I'll definitely bring up some of these points then. Maybe we can get NATO to develop a treaty with Russia.
Well, even if the Senate doesn't approve it by a 2/3 vote, Beorge, you can still bypass it to improve this formal agreement between the governments or two or more countries.
As the official representative of Iraq's government, I need to ask what foreign aid we are currently providing to Iraq.
We are currently providing money, food, military assistance, and other supplies, but we have a trade sanction on Turkey to punish them by imposing trade barriers.
Maybe we should change the trade sanction for embargo, another punishing tool which is an agreement among a group of nations that prohibits them from trading with a target nation.
Well, that's the end of my day. I would like to thank all of my staff and interviewers for making this production possible. Well, good night, folks.